Welcome into the inaugural edition of The Butcher versus the Spin Instructor. I'm Neil McCready, and I'm not a butcher or a spin instructor. Greg Jones of LB's Meat Market is the butcher. Campbell McCready of Zen Studios Fayetteville is the spin instructor. And this is episode 1 of their heated, vicious competition against one another, picking college football games and who knows what else over the course of the next few months. First of all, Greg, Campbell, welcome in. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Excited to be here.
All right, so we're gonna get into some games in a minute, but first let's tell the people a little bit about you guys. Greg runs LB's Meat Market. It is, we say it on the ads all the time, but this is the God's honest truth. It is the freshest cuts. It is the absolute best place to get meat and other things. It's not just meat. He makes his living off meat. They're right across from Kroger's, 2008 University Avenue in Oxford. They're open basically every day of the year. I think they're closed on Christmas and maybe one other day, but they're open. Go into LB's. Here's what I recommend that you do. Now, you can do what you want. You can go into LB's knowing what you want and order it and get in and get out and head on about your way. I recommend that you go into LB's and ask Greg, hey, what do you recommend? Because Greg has steered me in the right direction so many times with things that I wouldn't have otherwise tried. The picanha, the double bone pork chop, which if you put it in a sous vide and then you put it on the grill, it's just to die for. So much of that. So, Greg, tell the people about LB's a little bit and how you got into this. And I know it's become an absolute labor of love for you.
Yeah, well, we started, Buck Cunningham started LB's in 2009. I moved to Oxford in 2010 to help open up the Soul Shine in Oxford. End up getting the job at LB's around 2011. Just learned the basic business of it and the gist of the business. I'm a big fan of enjoying what you do when you grow up. If you don't enjoy what you do when you wake up every morning, you need to check your career and make sure might do some changes. So I enjoy what I do. One of the best things that LB's offers is you can come in and get whatever you want. There's a lot of people that come in and don't know if they want a steak. They don't know if they want that 2-bone pork chop. They don't know if they want to try the duck poppers or, so there's exclusive things that LB's offers and brings to the table. And it's just, it's a cool place to come in and, just walk around and, find something that you don't necessarily think that you would get, kind of like that 2-bone pork chop. But yeah, it's one of the better, I would say one of the better exclusive businesses in Oxford that you could, because you can come in and get exclusive products that we sell: free range chicken breasts, exclusive prime beef, Wagyu beef, fresh fish on Thursdays. So it's just an exclusive store and something to be really proud of.
I'll be honest, you're one of the key guys that kind of helped me get through the pandemic a little bit. Because it was so depressing, I mean, I'm a big Cubs fan, and I'm used to the Cubs starting the season in late March, and there was no Cubs baseball. I was worried about my career. You were worried about your career. We were all worried about stuff. Campbell was home from college at a time when she didn't want to be home from college, and there was a lot of stuff. And one of the things that I took pleasure in during the pandemic was being able to go to LB's, and I can remember a couple of times saying, "Let me try something. Just let me try something new." And that was one of the fun things. It was. I'm sure you worried about your business at the start of the pandemic, and if anything, I think your business took off even more because people realized, oh wow, this is a great resource here. And a lot of people said, hey, they did the same thing I did. Hey, we're going to get out and cook this weekend. We're going to do something different. We're going to get our minds off all of this pandemic stuff and do something that feels normal. And getting the family together and lighting up the grill or the smoker or whatever feels normal to people.
Yeah, I have to agree. It's definitely taken off. And, that's one thing about LB's is you walk in and you buy a prime ribeye. mean, you're going to taste the difference between a prime ribeye and a steak that you get from Kroger. If that's not the case, I'm not doing my job properly. So that's just what helps whenever you can walk in and get what you pay for. And then when you eat and you try it, you're like, okay, this is one of the reasons why I'm coming back, is because of this exclusive product that we sell.
Campbell was home for Labor Day, and right before we left, we had LB's. And one of the things we had was, I guess it was on Labor Day that morning, we're like, I came in there and I was like, hey, do you have any ribs? And you were out because people had stolen all of my ribs from you. And so we did some other things, and Campbell said the jalapeno poppers. That was her thing.
I think I ate like 6 that night. They were so good.
So you
it's kind of funny, like when the college kids come in and they only want one, I'm like, no, dude, I promise you're going to want 3.
Yeah. I put like 1 down and then I kept going back up. I had like probably 6. And my mom was like, you do not need to eat anymore. You're going to get sick.
All right. So Campbell, for those who don't notice the names, Campbell is my daughter. She's our oldest. Campbell is a sophomore at the University of Arkansas and has begun her spin career, got a job as a spin instructor during the pandemic. Another Peloton paid off. Shout out to Peloton, the best. Peloton gets more free advertising than anybody on our network of podcasts. Tried out, made it. You've started teaching your spin classes. How's that going?
It's good. It's so much fun. I started teaching last week officially. I taught a class about 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago-ish, to just a group of my friends. And then they put me on the schedule last Thursday. And since then, I've taught 6 classes, and I teach twice this afternoon. So it's been really fun. It's really rewarding after I trained for 2 months, both virtually through FaceTime on the Peloton. And then I came here like August 6th and started training for about 2.5 more weeks, and then now I'm teaching, and it's so much fun. So I teach 2 times a day. I teach every Friday morning at 5:30, and every Wednesday evening, 5:30 in the morning, I mean. So that's been good to have an early class every week, but it's really fun to put together my classes, and I get to make them like themed how I want, and yeah.
All right, so we're going to get into football. Next week, we'll start the SEC games. There's 2 SEC games at 11 o'clock in the morning next Saturday. Thank you, God. As we get back into SEC football, the 2 that will get us started next week, Florida at Ole Miss, and then Kentucky at Auburn. But this week, the SEC has one final tune-up weekend, so this will be our tune-up weekend as well. So on to the picks we go. Greg, I'm going to tell you that I think you have an advantage here, because when I explained point spreads to Campbell last weekend, she had almost a violent reaction to it. So you have a built-in advantage here. So game number 1, the first ever game we're going to pick on the Butcher versus the Spin Instructor is Houston at Baylor. Baylor is the game's at 11 a.m. You can see it on Fox. Baylor is a 4.5 point favorite. Gregory, take it away.
I'm going to go with Houston here. We'll take the underdog just to, I'm kind of an underdog kind of guy, so I'm going to take Houston here in the points. I think that, Baylor's got a whole new coaching staff, and, probably revamping the program or whatnot. But I wouldn't say revamp, because they were a top, 20 team last year. But, I like Houston here, and I'm going to go with the points.
Campbell, your first ever prediction of a college football game ever. Here we go.
Well, I'll be quite honest. I'm not very good. I don't know much about football. But you mentioned that the Houston's coach is a really big drinker, kind of crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and say I'll go with Baylor, and I don't really know what taking the points means. But,
are you? So you're laying the points? You're going to lay the 4.5?
Sure. And then I just don't think he'd be, awake, ready to go for the game. He might be still tired from the night before, so that's what I'm going with.
All right. So Greg takes Houston and the 4.5. Campbell says, nope, I got Baylor. I'll lay the 4.5. So we have our first showdown here on the picks. So the next up is Boston College at Duke. That game is at 11 a.m. Also, you have to watch it on your computer, ESPN 3. Duke is a 5.5-point favorite. So you got Duke minus 5.5 at home against Boston College. Campbell?
I know that an Oxford High School teacher's dad, Chris Cutcliffe's dad, is the coach at Duke.
That's correct.
So
Coach David Cutcliffe is at Duke.
I'm just going to go with them for that reason because I got to support Oxford High School family, so that's what I'll go with.
Okay, so Campbell's got Duke minus the 5.5. Greg?
I'm going to have to agree with her. Duke played a good game against Notre Dame last week, and have some experience already. So yeah, I kind of like the pick. We're going to roll with Duke on this one.
All right, next up is Louisiana Tech. Let's see, is that right? Nope, no, I got a different one for you, Campbell, and I don't know that you'll be completely prepared for this. Maybe you will. Yeah, you will. Got I scrolled too far. We've got South Florida at Notre Dame. Not a lot of games to pick from here this week, y'all. Next week's going to be a lot better. This week, it's kind of slim pickings on college football, for being honest. But I will not complain about college football this year, no matter what. I don't care how bad the game.
We're glad to have it.
Just glad to have it. Amen. All good. So the Bulls head up to Notre Dame. It's a 1:30 kickoff. It's on USA because the U.S. Open is going to be, I guess, on NBC. So it'll be on the USA Network. South Florida at Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish giving 25.5 points, Greg.
I like points here. I just think that whenever they come out with the odds versus the first and second week, they, kind of give a little bit too many points. I mean, I was actually thinking this was going to be maybe 17.5, but I'll take the extra points. So give me the South Florida Bulls.
All right, so Greg Jones has South Florida and getting 25.5. Campbell?
I have a friend from high school that goes to Notre Dame. We actually went to formal my sophomore year together, so there's that. So based on that, I'm going with them.
So a shout out to Jack Ligon and your
shout out Jack Ligon.
Shout out Jack Ligon and you're taking the Irish. You're going to lay the 25.5. You feel it's going to be.
Honestly, I'm struggling to remember what that means, but
for you to win, Notre Dame has to win by at least 26 points.
Okay, so
currently it's 26-0.
Yeah, basically 26-0 when the game starts.
Okay, so what does it mean?
So it means that
so when you take Notre Dame and they win 27-26, that means you win.
Okay, then.
All right. So Greg has an advantage here, and you're seeing it play out on this game. Campbell is 25.5. Greg getting 25.5 points. So we have two differences of opinion here on this hard-hitting college football prediction show. Next up, you've got the best game of the day from a competitive standpoint, I think. Miami at Louisville, two teams that are both ranked, two teams that probably are fighting for second place in the ACC behind Clemson, who looks like a borderline NFL team. This game is at 6:30. It's on ABC. Be a perfect game when you light your grill outside and put some LBs on the grill. This would be a really good game to have on in the background as you get tuned up for SEC games a week from now. Louisville, Campbell, is a 2.5-point favorite. So this game, all but a toss-up. Louisville giving 2.5, probably because the game's there in Kentucky. What do you think?
I'm going to go with Miami because I'm just going to go for the reason that when I was growing up, we never supported the Cardinals, ever. And when I went to college, my dad said that if I came back with the Cardinals fan, he's not letting them in, not going to talk to them. So – I'm going to Miami for this one.
That is a great pick. That is very smart on your part. I like that. That shows you, Greg, the power of parenting right there. You know, I mean,
Well, that's a good parent. That's a good parent.
what do you think? You got Miami getting 2.5 at Louisville.
Well, I'm going to go with the Campbell angle here, and I'm friends with the Biancos, and they have a son that plays baseball at Louisville. So I'm going to go with Louisville right here and support the Oxford community and go with Louisville.
Okay, so you're going with Louisville, laying the 2.5. Campbell taking Miami and getting 2.5 points. So lots of differences. We're gonna have a leader next week. All right, the last pick of the day. Last pick of the day, Louisiana Tech from my hometown of Ruston, Louisiana. Louisiana Tech is at Southern Miss. That game can be seen also on ESPN2, so you'd be perfect time. You can light the grill, and you can flip back and forth between Miami and Louisville. Louisiana Tech at Southern Miss, 6:30, ESPN2. The Golden Eagles are a 5.5-point favorite against the Bulldogs. Greg, you're up.
I'm going to go with your hometown here, Louisiana Tech, because I just know Campbell's just going to take Southern Miss because of Jack Abrahams, the former Oxford High School quarterback. So we're just going to go ahead and jump on your hometown team here, and we're going to take La Tech.
Campbell?
Actually, you're not right. I'm taking Louisiana Tech. I didn't know Jack Abraham personally, so I don't feel compelled, but I did tour Louisiana Tech as my first school, and they treated me like I was just the most amazing person to walk the campus. So I'm going with them.
All right.
That's a good pick. I like it.
All right. So you both are taking Louisiana Tech, getting the 5.5 at Southern Miss. Be an interesting game for Southern Miss with firing their coach after week 1. That's a bold move during a pandemic, but we'll give them credit. Sometimes the winners are the bold. So we'll find out. All right. So Greg, tell the people out there before we go, if they want to get in touch with you, they want to find out a little bit more about LBs. What's the best way to do it?
Yeah, I mean, call the store, 662-259-2999. I try to check Instagram and Facebook as much as possible, but I've personally just been trying to stay off the social media platforms, just trying to post pictures and just let people know that what we got. We've got plenty of fresh fish coming in today. We've got some sushi grade tuna, some redfish, some snapper, some grouper, some salmon. Always call the store. It's the best way to get in touch with us. We can, we take call-in orders as far as, I have a lot of people that are from out of town that, want to place an order for 4 fillets and set it over to the side. That's what we do. We try to take care of you as the customer and, be an exclusive dealer to you and your needs. So, but yeah, just call the store or, try to post something on the Twitter. I'll try to, reply back as quick as possible. But, we're wide open up there and the kids are back in town. And so been pretty busy on the weekends. So yeah, everything's been going really good, but we'll get you taken care of. Just let us know.
All right. Awesome. Appreciate both of you for your time. We'll see how the picks come out. We'll get together again next Thursday, and it'll be ready for episode number 2 of the Spin Instructor versus the Butcher, and we'll see who's ahead. And a real quick shout out. You'll see the graphics on social media on rebelgrove.com. Cindy Roberts, kind enough to work on that while she was making the drive from Conway, Arkansas to Scottsdale, Arizona. So spent some time with the graphics. Really cool. It looks great. I think it's favorable of both Greg and Campbell. So we'll have a lot of fun. Next week, we'll get ready for a full slate of 7 SEC games. Can't wait. So excited. Makes me so happy to say those words. Southeastern Conference football is back next Saturday. Hope you enjoy one last tune-up of college football. Again, Miami and Louisville, probably the big game of the weekend. Enjoy it. Go enjoy some LBs. Have a fun time, and we will talk to you again next week on The Butcher versus the Spin Instructor.